Sheduer Sanders and the New York Giants. Is that the name we're going to be hearing with the number 3 overall pick when it comes to this upcoming draft? Sheduer Sanders has been linked to the Giants for a very long time now, dating back to the end of the last season. And sitting a couple of months away from the NFL draft, we're wondering, is that going to be the name that's going to be called, or is he going to go even sooner? Now, I'm here talking about Sheduer Sanders and, what Giants fans feel about him overall. And I feel like the fan base is split. But when are the Giants fan base not split? Let's be honest here. When it came to Daniel Jones, when it comes to Eli Manning, when it comes to all these different things on this team, the fan base continues to be split. But I'm not really understanding a lot of the hate when it comes to Sheduer Sanders. Let's talk about who he is as a player. Let's talk about what he is for the Giants and what he could be. And where does this link even start? As we know, Sheduer Sanders played his last 2 seasons at Colorado under his father, Deion Sanders, and that's going to be the biggest trademark for him right now is his last name. And a lot of people like it. Some people do not. Some people don't like the moxie that Sheduer Sanders brings. He's always in the spotlight, and he'll put himself in the spotlight as well. But that's something that he's kind of grown up with, and he's had to be in the spotlight since he was a young boy. And now leading up into the NFL draft, he's one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name, that's going to be probably called in the first 3 picks. Cam Ward is the other quarterback that's on there. There'll be another Cam Ward video out shortly. So, if you want to look about Cam Ward, make sure you stay tuned for that. But Sheduer Sanders is going to be up there with Cam Ward, and it's kind of going to be a debate who goes first. Now, a lot of people like Cam Ward's arm. They feel like his talent is probably higher than Sheduer Sanders, but Sheduer Sanders' throwing mechanics and overall everything from a fundamental standpoint for being a quarterback, I feel like he has the best clean traits in this draft. When you look at other guys like the Jackson Dart that we talked about, like a Cam Ward, like a Jalen Milroe, those quarterbacks have some work they need to do. But fundamentally, I feel like Sheduer Sanders is the more sound quarterback, but does not mean he's coming in and he's going to be, setting the league on fire. I hope so, but that doesn't mean that's necessarily what he's going to do. He still has some things that he has to work out of his game. Obviously, one of the more popular things is him holding onto the ball and taking some sacks and playing behind the Giants' offensive line. That's something you don't want to do. But Sheduer Sanders has been dealing with that his whole college career. And now heading into the NFL draft, rumored to be going 1, 2, or 3. There's some quarterback needy teams, the Titans and the Browns, and they also have the Giants. And it seems like he kind of wants the Giants. It could be something that he's just using to leverage. We'll see what it ends up being, but we saw it. The cleats at his locker, he had the New York Giants colorway cleats. And at that point in time, the Giants had the number 1 overall pick. And there was even clips going around about them asking, hey, where do you think you're going to go in the draft? And he told his teammate, you can't go, no team can go any higher than 1. And the Giants on the number 1 overall pick at that point. You think about when Sheduer Sanders was playing catch with Malik Neighbors in the streets. There's been a lot of Giants and Sheduer Sanders steam and smoke. And overall, we're going to see what that ends up being when it comes to the NFL draft, because the problem is the Giants are sitting at 3. I hear a lot of rumors talking about the Titans GM speaking about, hey, we're not going to pass up on a generational talent. Does that mean they're passing up on a quarterback altogether? Can 2 quarterbacks, make it to picks 2 and 3, it being Cam Ward and Sheduer Sanders? Because that would be, honestly, probably the best case scenario for the Giants. But looking at where the Browns are, some people are saying the Browns are not going to be taking a quarterback. Ian Rappaport believes otherwise. But there's a chance that they'll take a quarterback. And if you think a quarterback goes 1 and 2, that's probably Sheduer and Cam Ward. And the Giants don't have those 3 quarterbacks at pick number 3. Now, with Sheduer Sanders, also being put in the spotlight continuously, he continues to take advantage of the spotlight, and you see it just with what happened yesterday. They asked him, what do you think about being in the stadium? And he pretty much said, I'll let the video play for itself.
Now, being in this stadium is definitely fun. I know I'll play here very soon against the Cowboys.
If you look at it, the Titans and the Browns do not play the Cowboys this upcoming season. That being said, you know who does? The Giants at number 3. If there's anybody in this draft, cough, cough, the Raiders, that want Sheduer Sanders, they're probably going to go ahead and have to jump the New York Giants. You already know the Tom Brady and Sheduer Sanders connection. If you don't, Sheduer Sanders was practicing and even getting coached a little bit by Tom Brady. Obviously, that connection with Deion Sanders is how that happened. And there's rumors that since Tom Brady is in that ownership realm for the Raiders, they could be possibly trying to get Sheduer Sanders. If you want to go get him, you're going to have to jump the Giants. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll have spoken about Sheduer Sanders throughout this whole process. And if there's anything about showing cards, if you think about showing cards when it comes to this process, I think they definitely showed their hand a bit. And they want a quarterback. And that being said, they want it to be Sheduer. That's definitely what it's seeming like is going to be the play. So if you're Sheduer Sanders right now, him being in the limelight, He's making sure everyone knows, hey, he's probably going to be a New York Giant. If anybody else wants to go get him, cough, cough, the Raiders, you better go jump the New York Giants. So with all that being said, the fan base still is split on Sheduer Sanders, and some people don't want him. I just want to remind everyone who this guy is. Probably the most accurate quarterback in this NFL draft. And yes, go ahead and compare it to other drafts, and you can compare it to this previous one. Would he have been better than a Caleb Williams, a Jaden Daniels, or a Drake May? Probably not. But unfortunately, the Giants put themselves in a situation where they kind of have to deal with what they have now. And that being said, Sheduer Sanders is one of the premier quarterbacks, if not the premier quarterback. I know a lot of people are really big on Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward, and I like the traits that he has as well. But when you think about what Shedeur has done, and you think about the scenario that he's been in, hey, I think he'll be put in an interesting position to come play with Malik Neighbors. Hopefully the offensive line continues to get a little bit better, because they were decent to start off the season. Let's be honest. They weren't as bad as they usually were. And Sheduer Sanders can come in and really change some things. If Joe Shane and Brian Daboll really want their quarterback, and some people in this fan base say they never got to pick their quarterback, even though we know they gave the contract to Daniel Jones, if they want to go out and get their quarterback, and that's the quarterback, hey, let's get it done. Let's get Sheduer Sanders here. Let's get those things moving. We have a lot of time before the NFL draft, and there's going to be more, headlines that are going to be swirling. But when you look at it right now, Sheduer Sanders is probably the top target for the New York Giants. And if they were to go out and draft him, I would not be upset at that at all. There's a lot of traits that you can definitely like with Sheduer Sanders. And I think some people don't really buy into is a quarterback developing. Give him some time with this regime. Give him some time with his coaching. Do we trust the coaching? That's a different type of question and a different type of video. But overall, you need your quarterback to get some time in the NFL, kind of understand what's going on throughout the year. And you can't expect a Jaden Daniels start out of a Sheduer Sanders. But is there any reason why he can't get some time, like maybe a JJ McCarthy that a lot of people over there in Minnesota are really hype about? Maybe give him some time, a Jordan Love-esque type of growth. We want to see the Giants take a swing in the draft, try to get a rookie quarterback in here, get him for a lot of years, not pay him the big bucks, and potentially have a good quarterback in their hands. That's what we want to see. I don't want to see a Sam Darnold. If you want to bring Jameis Winston in here for a year just to go out and lose again, I don't think that's the best interest for Joe Shane and Brian Daboll this upcoming year. So with that being said, I kind of I'm looking forward to getting Sheduer Sanders, Cam Ward, or even any other rookie quarterback in this class. I have my comments about a couple other guys like a Jalen Milroe. That's going to be another video. But overall, man, if you're a Giants fan and you're not a fan of Sheduer Sanders, I want you to let me know down in the comments, man, and how you would feel if the Giants moved on with that pick. I think people should be a lot more open-minded to it. The hate for Sheduer Sanders is pretty high, and some of it is kind of warranted, and some of it is not. I'm going to be honest. So y'all let me know down in the comments, man, how you feel about Sheduer Sanders. Let me know your thoughts on the Giants potentially getting him. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel for more Giants content that's coming through. We're going crazy this year. And, hey, we got a couple more months to the NFL draft. Free agency is going to be the big piece before the NFL draft, so make sure you stay tuned. I got my free agency videos coming shortly. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.